So Yale, Princeton, and Duke have been threatened with a lawsuit over the decline in Asian American enrollment since the removal of affirmative action. If you're new here, this page is dedicated to the shared experiences of Black college students and grads from HBCUs to PWIs. The numbers that the team is pressed about. Duke went from having 35% of Asian American students enrolled to 29%. Yale went from having 30% of students enrolled to 24%. Princeton went from having 26% of Asian American students enrolled to 23.8%. What do you think the Black enrollment is at each of these schools? Black enrollment has remained just about the same. And so when we are talking about a decrease in Asian American student enrollment, how is it that Black student enrollment is taking away? Like, the math is not mathing. They don't have a problem with the fact that 40% of students are enrolled at colleges that accept legacy admissions. Legacy admissions based on the history of this country who are predominantly white. They don't have a problem with legacies benefiting from a system. So instead of looking at the legacy admissions at these universities, they're honing in on a small percentage of Black students who are enrolled at these universities and saying the Black students are taking our spots, as opposed to looking at where a majority of the admissions are coming from.
Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. In case you're new here, my name is Maren.
And I'm Maureen.
Right. So guys, do you remember when we did an episode for you of an Asian American man who wanted affirmative action to be done away with?
Yeah, so this man stated that his reasons for wanting affirmative action to come to an end was because Black people were taking up spaces that were meant for Asian Americans.
Right. So they got their wish, and guess who's not happy? They want to sue universities in America because they've recently discovered that the admission of Asian students has dropped significantly. But what they have an issue with is they say that of Black Americans has remained constant.
Yeah, so guys, let's watch this video that we compiled for you of Black Americans reacting to this lawsuit, and they, in their fashion of words, say they told them so.
Right, guys, let us know what you think about this episode. Let's watch and then we come back and talk about it.
Asians, how y'all feeling right now? Come on, it's okay. It's okay. How y'all feel that y'all acceptance rate has dropped? Y'all had a white man trick y'all into filing a lawsuit to get affirmative action taken away from basically everywhere, that your school acceptance rate could go up because you felt like you were smarter than Black folks. And that shit dropped. And not only did it drop, Black folks stayed the same. Y'all let a white man trick y'all into some shit. Y'all let that imaginary tether to the proximity of whiteness fuck y'all up. Baby, they wanted to get y'all asses out the way. Y'all were fucking up their acceptance rate. It's funny because y'all got played. And we sitting right here still getting the same acceptance rate. And now y'all filing a lawsuit. Because y'all shit dropped. You can't make this shit up. I just want to know how y'all are doing. Are y'all okay? Who y'all finna sue next? The air? What, the United States Postal Service? Maybe your application didn't make it there. What is y'all excuse now?
Now that you cannot blame Black people, you know, now that you literally cannot say it's because of us. Because you ended affirmative action. An Asian American man went out of his way to go and put an end to affirmative action, which greatly benefits Asian Americans as well as cisgender white women, the women that they like to marry the most, that they meet at the woo. What's so hilarious is that Black people are still going to be going to college, right? The road for Black people to get to college is very arduous and difficult as it is. Black Americans, just because of the way that education is set up within this country. Education might as well be a prison pipeline for Black people. I know y'all don't want to acknowledge that, but it's like, that's very much, it's a carceral experience for even the best of us. So for us to make it into college, no matter what your upbringing is, private school, public school, homeschool, whatever, that's an accomplishment in and of itself and is to be celebrated. For y'all to try to take that away from people, which is what it was, because Asian Americans specifically have a chip on their shoulder when it comes to black people because of their model minority status, and they think we just get things for nothing. That shit their parents taught them. It's not our fault. And now you're going to see and learn that Whitey doesn't want you either. In fact, they like you less than us. We're entertaining. Black people are seen, when black people are in the same space as white people, listen very carefully. When black people are in the same space as white people and we've made it and we're successful, we're not looked at as conniving. You understand? We're not looked at as thieves. We're not looked at as people that need to be watched, that are trying to come for other people's things, spineless, slimy. Those are stereotypes that have been levied against the Asian American community. I talk about this regularly on my podcast about how the Asians get a bad rap. But one thing y'all are going to have to learn is that it's not black people that did it to you. You understand? It wasn't us that created yellow peril. It wasn't us that when y'all were over here building the American railroad system infrastructure, it wasn't us that said you could not get married over here, that you couldn't have a wife. That wasn't black people. Do you understand? The animosity and the hate in that community's heart for black people. Remember that Stop Asian Hate bullshit? And they made black people the face of it? It wasn't us. I remember in New York, a lot of my Asian friends were getting harassed in the street. It wasn't black people doing that. It wasn't black people slicing up Asian children's faces in New York City when the pandemic happened, talking about the Wuhan flu and all that other racist bullshit. It wasn't us. It's the people that you're dying to get around that think you're spineless. All of these fucking stereotypes about Asian men not being virile, being, shady, being villains, always being casted as villains in the media. I did a whole episode about this. That's Whitey. All this sexual fetishization of the docile Asian woman, was it us that did that? No, it was Chad, Tom, Kale, Brent. It was them niggas that did that to you, babe. The same niggas you're pressed to have a baby with. The same niggas you're pressed to get around. And they look down on you. It wasn't us that put you in internment camps. You see what I'm saying? Instead of talking about the actual disenfranchisement that you have experienced in this country by you know who, you always want to come at us and talk about what we're not doing. Babe, we're still going to be we're still going to be at Yale, Howard, Brown, Dartmouth, Oberlin. Gag.
I'll never forget, because I went to the University of Georgia, predominantly white institution. I remember being in a class and having the dreaded conversation about affirmative action with my peers and them saying like, hey, I don't think this is right because you're taking the spot of a friend who was more qualified than you to be at this institution. Okay, so you think I took your friend's spot, but we just got our test scores back yesterday. I got 100 on that test. What did y'all get? I saw some of the papers come back with 50s and 60s, etc., but I don't deserve to be here. Maybe you took your friend's spot. How about that? Because you're flunking, you're frying bacon in the back of a classroom, you're getting the answers to tests from your fraternity or sorority, and I'm sitting here studying because I don't have access to that level of privilege. And what I want people to be honest with themselves about is not everyone is pulling themselves up from their bootstraps. Let's get rid of that American meritocracy theory of you work hard and you get X outcome. Because some of you are not working hard, but you think your outcomes are because you've worked hard. And when people don't have those same outcomes, it's not because they're not working as hard as you. It's because they don't have that same level of privilege, proximity, or luck and chance. So all I want to say is Black students at PWIs, you have earned your spot. You're going to graduate and you're going to do great things. Don't let people say that you don't deserve to be there.
This is unfortunate. I'd have the Ivy blues too if after 21 AP credits, stressing myself out for these SAT scores, paying a consultant thousands of dollars to review my application, and I still don't get chosen. All those book smarts, and somehow is not translating to critical thinking skills, because now Edward Bloom now has a license to go around and destroy any mentorship program, grants, scholarship programs for special populations. Gone. Was it worth it? The Fearless Fund, he's already annihilated that. A grant program that was helping
a population of less than 1% to gain some sort of opportunity, just a little bit of money to start a business. Was it worth it?
Have been threatened with a lawsuit over the decline in Asian American enrollment.
Yet, y'all got on here and said, what? Affirmative action needs to be banned because of what? Because of what? It was unfair. It was unfair when y'all were the ones that benefited the most from it. It was unfair. Okay. Proved our point. Absolutely proved our fucking point.
So guys, welcome back. Let us know what you think about that episode. Maureen, one thing I have to say, and I'd like our audience to also agree or let us know if it's not correct, right? The previous episode we did about affirmative action and the Asian who wanted it to be gotten rid of, his reasons were that, okay, he felt that he was smart enough to get into the university by himself, and he was complaining that black students were taking their spots. But when we analyzed that situation, there were other students who were getting into this kind of schools he wanted, and the black students were explaining that they do not only look at your grades, right? They also look at the extracurricular activity you come with, sports, things like how else can you be able to contribute into this school you want to get into
other than academics,
and that is what they used to pick this kind of students, right? So in today's video, let's just say I think I had a speaker here, Maureen, say that the guy who talked, he was talking about at this level where Asians are, what else are they bringing into the room when they walk into a room full of palm-colored people, right? And he mentioned something about
them not having talent. They're not personable.
Exactly. Another thing I want us to discuss is when the speakers mentioned that Asians right now are perceived as, should we say, conniving? You guys. Anyway, let us know about this, because that had to have come from somewhere. We are not judging, but it had to come from somewhere, because when you look at the reason why they got behind getting rid of affirmative actions, was it a genuine agenda? And there's a speaker here who was talking about you have to confront the problem and look it in the face, and your problem is not black Americans, your problem is not black people. Another thing I have to mention, I don't think these kind of Asians who allow themselves to be used in this manner, I don't think they realize the significance of what black people have, the role black people have played in America for even other people of color to start being or to start benefiting from the struggles that black people had to fight for, you get? And I can see, forgive me if I'm wrong for this, but I can see in Asian households, when you look at black households, from a very young age, they have to be taught how they have to work extra hard in order to get what they want, because nobody gets to give them anything. But you look at Asian homes, and this is a point that one of the speakers brought forth, right? And you look at Asian homes, and what are they taught? Instead of them confronting the problem in the face, in their homes, they're taught that black people are lazy, black people get things for free. And it's why even them, when they get into this kind of universities they want to get into, instead of confronting the problem, they look at them being denied as black people taking opportunities from them.
And right now, whatever situation they're finding themselves in, the people who are pushing this agenda through Asian people, you can say Asian people shot themselves in the foot with this one. And with that being said, I don't feel like there's much to say in this episode today, because majority of it, I think it's self-explanatory.
And this is a situation where black Americans will come out and tell the Asian Americans, we told you so, because there's a lot of episodes that I've actually covered where Asian Americans try to talk to this crop of individuals in their community, right?
Who allow themselves to be used for an agenda they later on come to realize wasn't going to be beneficial to them in the long run.
Them or their community. And you have to ask yourself, Asians, what is it exactly that you guys have fought for that you can say this happened because of the struggles of the Asian Asian communities? This is a genuine question. I'm not calling out anyone. I genuinely want to know, right? What is it that the Asian community has done that you can point out and say, this, we have this today because of the Asian community? So my parting shot for this episode would be for the Asian communities to really sit down. You guys sit down and really ask yourself who your problem is, because it's not the black community. The black community also have their own struggles that they are going through, and to be quite honest, I feel like you guys should sit down and take some lessons, take some notes, right?
And guys, let us know what you think about this episode. Also consider subscribing if you're new to this channel, and we'll see you on our next episode.